Hello, welcome to the tutorial on connecting OpenAI up to mcp.run. So I'm just going to walk through this post, but you should probably read through it in detail and do this yourself. So first thing we're going to need is we have a few dependencies. We need Node.js, which I have installed. We need an OpenAI account and an API key, which I have, and we need a GitHub account. Once you have those things, you're going to need to run this command. And what this is going to do is this is going to open up the browser and take you over to mcp.run. And it's going to ask you to go through an authentication flow and connect GitHub. And once it does that, it's going to spit out a MCP session ID, which is a secret that we're going to store and use for later. So I already have the OpenAI key, and I have the mcp.run key. And I've stored those, and they're already hidden somewhere. I'm not going to show them on screen. But make sure you go through that and you save both of those somewhere securely. We're also in this tutorial going to assume that you have two tools installed. So once you have your mcp.run account, you have it set up, you should see your username over here that you're logged in. And these are your installed servlets. So the ones that you want to install, there's one called Fetch. And you just go to it. You can search for it by name. And you just click install. And the other one is called eval.js. And once you install those two, you should just be able to go to your profile page here, and you'll see you should see both of them installed somewhere. So you really need those two, but feel free to install other ones. So let's get started. Let's build the project. So this is going to be in JavaScript using Node.js. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a directory here, and we're going to cd into it. Oops, I already have this, so let me just delete it. And then we're just going to quickly scaffold a Node project. So we have our package.json now. And then we're going to install our dependencies. So actually, I want to install this one locally, so I'm going to remove this one. Just ignore this for a second. But I'm going to install these other three. And then I'm going to install this one locally. But you can just copy paste this command, should work fine. So then we're going to just copy paste the code. This is going to go in index.js. And what we've built here is we built a little chat system. And I'm just going to quickly walk through the code and explain how it works. So first thing we do is import some dependencies. So we're going to bring in MCPX OpenAI and OpenAI. We're going to bring in some other utilities that we need for the chat. We're going to configure some globals. These are for I/O, so we need read line to kind of read and write to the command line. We need a logger. MCPX expects a logger. And we just want to log out to see what MCPX is doing when it's calling the tools. We're going to need our secrets, and we're going to get those through environment variables. We're going to use the names OpenAI API key and mcp.run session ID. And I already have these set in my terminal, but you'll need to set them yourselves. I'll show you how to do that later. And down to our main code. So we're going to create our OpenAI instance. If you're familiar with OpenAI, this is kind of step one anytime you're calling their API. But instead of using that, we're going to wrap that in our MCPX OpenAI instance. And this client's just going to give us a wrapper around that that's going to handle all the tools and make it kind of feel like an agent. So this is optional, but we're going to start with a system prompt. And the reason I'm doing this is by default, OpenAI, a lot of the models will be kind of conservative and they won't try to execute a bunch of tools to accomplish a task. So it's good if you can give your model if you can give your agent a prompt, a system prompt telling it how you expect it to behave. So what I'm saying is I want it to use all the tools, take initiative, and explain the work, and also focus on results rather than asking questions. So a lot of times the agent stop and ask you questions. And, maybe this is something you want for this demo. I just wanted to kind of figure out what to do and just take a best guess. So then we're going to start the chat. And what the chat is basically just us prompting the user for a prompt. And if that prompt does not exit, then we're going to push it into messages. And this is what we're going to call the chat completion API. But we're going to use our wrapped MCPX. So MCPX is going to expose all the same functions that OpenAI exposes. These are the same types as OpenAI chat completions.create. Takes the same object and returns the same thing. It just adds all the tools connected to your MCP account, mcp.run account, and it automatically calls them for you. So we're just going to keep doing this on a loop. That's how the program works. So to run it, we have to set our variables. As I explained, I've already done this, so I'm not going to show that. But you'll want to copy and paste these and set your keys. Now we're just going to use Node to... Something keeps getting copied in there. We're going to use Node to run the program. And now we have a prompt, so we can ask it questions. Let's just say hello, and it should say hi. So we have those two tools, fetch and eval.js. So fetch is a tool. It's a servlet that has some tools to automatically fetch things from the internet. So if you put a URL in there, or if the agent needs to fetch something from the internet, it can read it. There's also eval.js, which is a kind of sandbox JavaScript evaluation environment. So we're going to come up with a little demo here that exercises both those things. So what I did was this prompt, I put this prompt in here. And what I'm saying is I want to know what would happen if I put the string hello mcp.run into this hash function, and then I pasted in some C code. So this is C code, it's not JavaScript. So what I'm hoping that the agent will do is it'll figure out, hey, I need to pull down this code. Oh, this is C code. I don't really know how to execute this. There's no way of me computing a hash without being able to execute the code. So what I'll do is translate it to JavaScript and then execute it with my JavaScript runner because I know how to do that. So let's see if it does it. So it looks like it called fetch and it pulled it down. And now it's written some JavaScript and now it's evaluated it. And it says using the DJB2 hash function, this is the hash. And that's the proper value, which would not be capable of doing otherwise without the tools. So anyway, that's it. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.